All right, fans, this is Faust Man with Back to Basics. We're doing a recorded show this week, so as you guys are enjoying Memorial Day, we will be doing that also. So let's go into our announcements. So our show is a hardwiring in Christ through conversations. Each week we will discuss topics like marriage, family, communication, etc. through the lens of Christ. Each week we will chime in, you guys get to chime into the conversation, and this week specifically you get to chime in via through Facebook and just join the conversation. Here's some of our announcements that we got. Our Survive to Thrive class went pretty well at the Lacey Forza, but we're actually doing a few more classes. So if you love to go to the Lacey Forza, we're going to be doing a Parenting's All About You course. June 18th, it's $60. If we get more than 12 people, we will cater the event. So if you guys are interested in learning about parenting and going over and thriving in the parenting modality, come and visit us June 18th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Next, our Shayless Lodge giveaway. We right now only have about 55 likes, so if you guys are out during Memorial Day weekend and wanting to go over and get a Shayless Lodge giveaway in Snoqualmie Falls, like our page like crazy. If we get to 500 likes, we'll give you 1 day free up there. If we get to 1,000 likes, we will go over and give you 2 days, pay the incidental fee, and also go over and cover $100 in the dining room, which is off the chain. My wife used to work there. Today we have our Marriage 180 sponsor, and we'll get to them in a moment. Ramon, you on the line?
I am, yes, sir.
All right, we'll get to you in a moment. We'll do a quick introduction. Let's go to a couple more announcements. Our Veterans Christian Charity fundraiser. So 25% of veterans struggle with homelessness on a regular basis. Unfortunately, that transitioned from active duty to civilian. So on June 30th, if you're wanting to go assist those veterans that become homeless for one reason or another, I know I've gone to it almost 3 times, and I was looking at 1,000 jobs a day. So it's not that we're not tenacious and looking for work. It's just the transition is just so rough. So we're doing a Veterans Christian Charity fundraiser June 30th. That's 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Woodland Retirement Center in Lacey. So it's $100. You'll get to have a catered dinner from Forza's Coffee. You'll get to do Mrs. Moffat's Mystical Cupcakes, which are off the chain, and we're hoping to get them nationwide. So that's our goal on that. We're also going to do an infotainment class from myself, Faust Man, so you get to meet the man live. And lastly, we are doing a magic show. So we are innovative from stem to stern. So if you guys want to go help out veterans, get out of homelessness and be entertained for the evening, get your food taken care of, and just enjoy that 3-day weekend because most state employees get that every single weekend, come check us out at the Woodland Retirement Center. You can go to our Facebook page and go to the Veterans Christian Charity Facebook page, or also to Miss Moffat's Mystical Cupcakes to sign up for that Eventbrite event. Or you can look for us on eventbrite.com. Lastly, we wanted to see what your thoughts are on live versus recording. So this is our recording time. So give us a shout back if you like the recording better than the live time. So we would love to go over and hear your thoughts. So today we have Ramon from 180 Marriage Ministry. 180 Marriage Coaching, I'm sorry. So Ramon, you still there?
I'm still here, yes, sir.
All right, awesome. So just show me a brief introduction of who you are, because I could obviously go off your website and whatnot, but tell me what you guys are doing, where you guys are located, and what type of services do you offer to people?
Well, we are located in Clarksville, Tennessee. And you were right in both instances. It's a ministry and a coaching service. It's called the 180 Marriage Counseling Center. We actually opened it up a few weeks ago. God just blessed us to be able to do that and move it from out of our home into an actual office. And, it's there that we're able to provide one-on-one coaching, to couples that come in. We have a classroom where we try once a month to offer classes to couples on a variety of topics that range from finances to communication to helping them identify their love languages to setting goals in marriage, various biblical principles. So we sort of look at what's trending, what are we talking to couples about, and then we try and get ahead of it by providing classes that help bless marriages, strengthen marriages, help couples strengthen their relationships, so to speak. So sometimes, we'll bring in guest speakers, to bless those couples, and we really try our very best to help couples, especially when they are at a really bad place in their marriage, hence the name, do a 180, and sort of turn their situation around.
And that's a fantastic thing. So would you say that you're doing coaching or consulting, or doing counseling? Are you doing a mixture of both? Do you have lines on where your interactions with couples start and stop? I know for my business, I do more consulting, so my lines stop in the past. So if the past keeps triggering, I'm going to go over and refer to a counselor. So do you guys have those lines at all, or do you guys deal with
And
all types of relationships in any modality?
well, I'll tell you what, and it's awesome that you said that, because that is our line. We try to do our very best to stay forward focused. And so when couples come in, we typically will spend the first session, dealing with the past some. Let's identify, what are the issues, what's happening, what's coming up, so that we can sort of get an idea, a roadmap, what the way ahead is. And so our focus really is on, let's create a situation, let's fix the foundation, let's try and get to a place where we can be forward focused and set some goals to where we want this and where we envision this relationship can be. But it's just like you said, if we have a situation where there are some really deep clinical issues, if there are medical issues, if there's mental health issues that are coming up, or there are some really deep-rooted issues that are going in the past that a couple really can't get past, then we usually will refer out to to therapy and to counseling, so that they can sort of spend that time to deal with those past issues. But we really try and focus on getting an action plan together, getting some goals together, getting some objectives in the situation, and using some tools to help couples be forward focused.
And that's a great thing. So I know for myself, I worked mental health for about 2.5 years, and the audience doesn't understand this, but I'm going to explain it. So in a consulting coaching mentality, we deal with the present that gives you a better future. In counseling, we deal with the past. So most people look for marriage counselors because that's what the world says to do. Hey, my marriage starts to suck. Things are about to go. The big D gets mentioned. I'm going to go deal with a counselor. Well, you can go to a counselor if you want. First off, you got to usually have medical insurance. That's number one. And number two is if you and your spouse do not have a mental health diagnosis and you're just two angry people, you're sinning, whatever way you look at life, but you don't have a clinical diagnosis, that provider only can give you 12 sessions and then stop that. And is that the reason why you
Right.
guys gravitated towards coaching and consulting so you can help people better and longer?
Well, that's exactly the reason. That's one of the main reasons. The other reason that we found is that there is a tremendous amount of success we have found in helping couples to identify those tools that can help them move forward. A lot of the times, what we have found and what I see is that through self-discovery, when we tell couples, listen, the best thing that you can bring to a relationship is a healthy you. God made you whole. And when you have two whole people in a relationship that recognize that, they have a strong relationship with God, they have a confidence when they discover who they are, their spiritual gifts, their temperament, and who God made them to be, and they bring that to the table, and the other spouse can recognize it as a treasure. There are so many things that we can do with that as we look forward to the kind of relationship that we want to have, and we found that there's just tremendous success that comes with that. But like you mentioned before, when we sort of dig to the past and we're sort of stuck on blaming and we're stuck on pointing the finger and we're stuck on traumatic things that have happened, we certainly don't discard that. We never tell people, hey, your experience isn't real, or, what you're feeling isn't real, or it's not authentic. It's just not what we're equipped to do, but we're happy to find you the services that we can. But we just found that there is a lot more freedom, and there's a lot more we can do for clients and couples that come in when they come in for coaching. And so that's just been something that has been very beneficial to the couples that we've been working with. And in addition, we have found that when we provide the classes for the couples, it doesn't have to be that there is a problem. And that's the main thing, is that it's not that you have to wait until there's a problem in your relationship. No one waits until their car is breaking down before they finally go get an oil change. At 3,000 miles, you generally know, hey, let me go in and this oil change is for some maintenance, because everyone who owns a vehicle, mechanics will tell you that it's really not, your vehicle is not going to be at its very best if you're only fixing the major repairs. It's going to be at its very best when you're doing that proactive maintenance, and a relationship really works on the same principle.
Yeah, that's an amazing insight, because we typically look at relationships and we just tolerate to eliminate. We don't go acceptance to celebrate. So you guys are teaching very similar to us in Clarksville, Tennessee, that you want to go from acceptance to celebration. Would I be interpreting that correctly?
Oh, yeah, exactly. And a lot of times, I'll tell you what will be amazing. We try and make it a point to regularly ourselves, attend any type of, seminar, classes on communication. We go to marriage retreats. One of our favorite ones is called The Weekend to Remember, where we sort of get away for the weekend, and we sort of just are allowed to connect with ourselves. We're doing scripture studies. We're sort of meeting up with other couples. And it's not that we're in trouble. It's not that there's something going on, but it just gives us more building blocks. It gives us more things to sort of reference in our marriage. It gives us more tools in the toolbox. And so before we get there, we actually have something that we can reach toward whenever we are finding ourselves in a situation in our relationship where things become difficult. Because as you know, every relationship, no matter how much in love you are, and no matter how powerful your union is, we are going to encounter adversity in every relationship. And so just because couples go to these classes, and you're not, quote unquote, in trouble, doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It's actually an awesome thing, and so we encourage that, and we try to model it ourselves.
Yeah, and that's great insight to go over and do that, and then you guys are modeling that. Because for me, myself, I used to go to Weekend to Remember retreats and whatnot and other things, and there was just something missing. They did a lot of the vertical principles, First Timothy and Ephesians 5, which is very much important. But we tend to forget as Christians the practical things we have to do every day. It's like, well, I can chew you because I have God. I'm like, or this is my personality style, so deal with it. And that's not it. We need to go live the things out of
Yeah.
what God's called us to be. Just because we are Christians and we're supposed to show by our love, and our love is our actions, and then being sacrificial and saying, hey, if I'm the dominant spouse and I have a submissive spouse, then I need to sweeten my voice. I need to be a lot more calmer. I need to give them peace and harmony, and I need to go over and to do those types of things. And if vice versa, if I'm the submissive spouse, I might need to up my dominance. I need to give my spouse the bottom line. They need to go over and have that direct, decisive type mentality. You're not living there, but you're visiting there to love your spouse.
Yes. And you know what? That's just so awesome that you gave that example, because I will give you a personal testimony of how these, sort of these practical principles can really, really help you. Because the Bible, commands us to love, and it commands us to love our spouse. Let us love one another because love comes from God. So I really believe every couple goes into a marriage intending to do that. Like, we want to do that. It's ingrained in us to do that. And not only does the Bible command it, but I married you because I love you. And but one great revelation that came from my spouse and I in that love is when we took a class called the Five Love Languages.